Welcome to Zen and the Art of Social Media with your host, Trevor W. Goodchild, Facebook alum turned startup CEO. If you're an enterprising entrepreneur who's looking to start a business that makes a difference, you're in the right place. Let's get started.
Hey, hope you're doing well today. My name is Trevor W. Goodchild, Facebook Policy Specialist. I worked at Facebook in advertising and in tech, and I'm here to talk about ad accounts getting disabled and what leads to that happening. So there's a myth that's going on where a lot of times advertisers feel like, well, I'll just keep trying this and see what happens, and they don't really pay attention to how many ads that they have approved or disapproved. Now, the problem this has is that you actually have a score on the back end for your ad account. This is based on your history with Facebook, and as a result, you just jeopardize your ability to advertise at all. And that's not any good, people, because that's the lifeblood of many businesses. So I'll give you kind of an example of a scenario. One of the clients that I have, they get a lot of ad disapprovals before they found out about me. And their old philosophy on this was, well, we're just going to run so many ads that it's not going to really matter because we can always switch to another ad when Facebook disapproves our ad. So we're continually keeping our ads on, even if we have others disapprove. This is actually a pretty common tactic that's used. There are certain, I'm not going to name specific names, but there are certain people that teach business and they have programs that you take about how to start your own consulting business or advertising business. And a lot of what they teach is, you know what? Play the numbers game. Sorry, I'm getting messaged by one of my ad exec friends. So look, I worked at Facebook in advertising and I probably helped out 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 advertisers. It's been a lot. And so I've seen a lot and I've had a lot of inside experience with this. And what happens often is that you have only a finite amount of lives. This is not a video game. You're not playing on Mortal Kombat from back in the day in an arcade and you can just like keep playing. As long as you have quarters, you can keep playing, or you're on a PlayStation or an Xbox, whatever. And, game over, I can just start the game again. Okay, Facebook doesn't work like that. You don't have infinite amount of lives. You only have a certain amount of times you can have ads that are disapproved before Facebook makes a final decision. Now, for those of you listening that have actually run ads on Facebook and have had ads that are disapproved, you may be familiar with the final decision. All right. That's not really something you want to hear from Facebook. I had to deliver that myself when I was working at Facebook to a number of advertisers who were just not in spec. They weren't following Facebook policy, and it was repeated offenses over and over and over again. Facebook looks to see if you are really intentionally trying to disobey their rules, their terms of service. A lot of people get really upset when they have content that they've created, whether this is on the regular news feed for your profile page, your personal page, or it's on ads. And they feel, how dare Facebook take this down? I put so much work into this, right? But here's the deal. It's a private website. There are terms and conditions that you have to abide when you advertise on it. People kind of treat Facebook sometimes, because it's so large, like it's a community owned organization, like a school or a government funded entity that your taxes pay for, so you have some right to be a stakeholder. Not really the case unless you actually are a stakeholder or on stock in Facebook, like Peter Thiel of PayPal, who helped start up Facebook back in the day with Mark Zuckerberg. Little did you know, he was one of the early investors. So look, this is what I want to really talk about, is ad accounts, how to make sure your ad account is not disabled. Okay, well, here's the deal. You got to keep track of how many ads are getting disapproved. You got to keep track if this is a trend and the frequency together that they are disapproved, because this is what's going to happen. Facebook sees that you have a bunch of ads disapproved. Now, if this is over like 5 years, okay, probably not as much to worry about. If this is just in Q4, you got something to worry about, right? because of the fact that Facebook is seeing this as a sign that you're not providing content that people like or enjoy on Facebook. That's going to drive people off of Facebook. If they're seeing your ad, they're hiding it, they don't like it, they're mad reacting. And see, the thing is that for Facebook, they want you to be a content creator. They don't want you just to sell merchandise on Facebook or services on Facebook. They're all about connecting, right? All about conversations. And the deal is when you have content on Facebook and your ads are getting disapproved because that content's not following Facebook's rules, what's going to happen is Facebook's going to start putting little magnifying glasses on everything you do. Then you're under increased scrutiny. So the kind of normal slip ups that you could get away with before, now you're not going to get away with them. Now things that are going to happen in rapid succession, right? First, the ads get disapproved. Well, if you keep on doing that, and especially if it's the same kind of disapproval. Now, obviously, you don't want a bunch of disapproved ads, period, as it is, but especially if you're triggering the same flags for misleading business practices, unrealistic claims, personal attributes, whatever the Facebook policy is that you're violating. If you're repeatedly violating that same policy, that's going to get you the bad eye, the stank eye from Facebook, big time, right? Because it's like a job, right? You hire someone, they're your employee, they get started. Sure, there's going to be some hurdles. There's going to be some mistakes made. They're learning the ropes. That's understandable. But if they keep making the same mistake by the second month that they're on the job and they're making the same mistake like 3 or 4 times, they're going to look at you like you're deliberately messing up because you're lazy, you're not paying attention, you don't cut it, you're not competent, right? Facebook's the same way, same analogy. If you're advertising on Facebook's platform and you continue triggering this same type of policy flag on your ads, you're in weight loss niche, and you keep triggering the same personal attribute flag by talking about things a little too graphically that Facebook doesn't want to hear, right? Because they feel like you're calling out people that are having problems with their weight or whatever the case may be. There's an infinite amount of scenarios this happens in. I've talked to so many people that have hired me to be their Facebook policy specialist. This is what I do. I always have to give my call to action here. If you're going through something with Facebook, you can't figure it out, Facebook's gone silent because they're not answering your questions on why your ads are disapproved, give me a shout, trevorwgoodchild.com. Book a time, free discovery call. If you're sick of walking on eggshells, wondering when Facebook's gonna, ban or audit your client's site or ad account, right? I can help you with all of that. I have the specified skills from working at Facebook and experience to help kind of pull back the curtain and help you understand what's going on and why. So, but like the thing is that I know it may seem innocent at first. A lot of people they feel kind of victimized by Facebook. Like, why are you picking on me? But the deal is that you're demonstrating to Facebook you're not a good actor. You're a bad actor, right? That's what they're going to label you as if you're continually violating the same sort of policy over and over again. Now, if you have like 16 ads, all different policy violations, you're not in a safer place either. You don't want that many ads disapproved, period. But it's just kind of one of those things when the algorithm seeks out patterns and they're trying to establish a profile for you as an advertiser. So this is kind of, one of the myths I want to dispel, because I was talking to one of my other advertisers that was working with me, and they have a bunch of ads disapproved, and they kept feeling like they could continue to do this. But here's the deal. If Facebook feels that you're providing an unpleasurable experience for Facebook users on the platform because you keep getting ads that are disapproved over and over and over again, you don't have infinite amount of lives. There is a game over. What does that game over look like, you might ask? That game over looks like ad accounts are getting disabled now. So how do you protect your ad account? How do you make sure your ad account doesn't get disabled? Well, make sure you don't have disapproved ads over and over and over again. When you have so many disapproved ads because you're rushing through it, you're employing the kind of like quantity over quality technique that a lot of kind of scammy consulting programs teach, to just run massive amounts of ads so you could turn off one ad, turn on the other ad. Yeah, your whole business is going to come crashing down when Facebook disables all of your ad accounts and your business manager and your business page. They can shut an entire funnel down easy. if you're basing a lot of your income on Facebook alone. And as a result of that, now you're left with your hat in your hands, feeling sorry for yourself and wondering, well, what can I do next? Right? If you call me during a time like this, I'm going to be like, you should have probably kept up with my YouTube or my podcast or reached out to me beforehand before it got to that point. Because there are certain points of no return. When Facebook says the decision is final, it usually is. There's a certain exception to this. I can't go into that in much detail right now. This is a new feature. But when it comes to ad accounts, you can prevent your ad account from getting disabled, making sure that your ratio of disapproved ads does not exceed your ratio of approved ads, and that you don't have so many disapproved ads in a short amount of time, which is going to trigger Facebook to think, well, this business is clearly not wanting to follow policy, so we're going to shut you off. We're going to disable your ad account now, right? So that's something to think about. This is part of my value proposition for what I do for my services when I'm talking to potential clients, where they don't take disapproved ads very seriously and they, feel like they can just keep on doing it and maybe gradually, like a blind person feeling their way for a door, figure it out. But the problem with that is, in the meantime, Facebook's keeping track. You're building up a track record with Facebook on the back end. They're not going to reveal that to you, but they're keeping score. And once they see that you've had a certain amount of disapproved ads within a certain amount of time, they're going to shut off your ad account. They're going to disable that first, or they're going to disable your Facebook business page from advertising. And they're going to give you a very generic line. They're not going to tell you why that is exactly. I'm telling you why that is right now. It's because of the fact that they've established your reputation with them on the back end as someone that's not a community creator, that's not someone that is providing content that is pleasurable to Facebook users. You're instead labeled as someone that's providing harmful content on some level. Now, harmful is a relative word. When I say harmful, it isn't necessarily physical harm. It's harmful as in it's disrupting their metrics on people and their positive reactions to Facebook posts, because no matter what kind of ad you're running, when it appears on Facebook, it is a post of some sort. You can find the post ID, stuff like that if you need to. Not everything has to be a boosted post, even clicks to website ads. It's still a post on Facebook, which means that all of those people that are interacting with that post are worth a lot of money to Facebook, because Facebook's making money off each one of these people from the multiple advertisers that they see. The individual advertisers don't really matter that much in the criteria of importance for Facebook. They're concerned about user experience. They're concerned about finding trends and patterns that advertisers are deliberately not following policies. And when they see that you have so many disapproved ads, the result of that is ad accounts getting disabled, which stops the money coming in because now your ads aren't converting because they're not even running, right? And you can sometimes appeal this if you clean up your funnel. Sometimes you can get it back online again if you have the guidance of someone that understands Facebook policy on a very deep level. And that someone right here is me. You can reach out to me at trevorwgoodchild.com. Feel free to do that. I just want people to be clear on this, because I just come across this often, and often it's very frequent with large scale businesses spending $10,000 a month on ads, $50,000 a month on ads, $100,000 a month on ad spend alone, right? These companies are so big, they feel like they're untouchable, but they're not, because Facebook does not care how big or small you are if they feel you're creating an unpleasurable experience for Facebook users by having so many ads that are disapproved. I would like to make sure that everyone's aware of that, so that you understand how important it is that you're compliant with policy. It's not kind of a choice on whether or not you agree with Facebook. It's not really a matter of whether or not you want to work that hard at following Facebook's rules. It's not even a matter of whether or not you're paying attention. Some people just go blind. It's like, I'm just going to run some ads. Maybe the magic will happen, and not even have a strategy. And if you need done for you social media marketing ads, I also have a team of people that does that. And you're welcome to contact me about done for you ads as well. But I just want to make sure that people are aware when we're talking about disapproved Facebook ads, it's interconnected to account quality. It's interconnected to your ability to have access to Facebook to advertise on. It's interconnected with the health of your overall presence on Facebook as an advertiser, which affects CPAs, which affects how fast ads get approved or disapproved, which affects how lenient they're going to be towards you if there is a case where you have a disapproved ad and maybe it's Facebook's fault, but you got to appeal that and it's not going to turn out really well for you. Facebook's already determined beforehand, because of the quantity of disapproved ads, that you're not a good character and that you're someone that is clearly making the same mistake over and over again with their policies. So there you go. No infinite lives. There is a game over. That does have repercussions on your ad account, your business manager, and business page for Facebook disapproved ads. So you can help your ad account not get disabled by making sure you understand the Facebook policies and making sure you don't have a bunch of disapproved ads on your ad account and have more approved ads than disapproved. Hope you find that helpful. Please like, share, and subscribe to this video and this channel, and reach out to me if you'd like help with your Facebook ad strategy, with your policy issues with Facebook ads that are being approved.